Why do two people who love each other deeply still fight constantly? Why do two people who love each other, they love each other deeply, yet they still fight constantly? They pray together, they go to church together, they even say I love you regularly, yet their home is filled with tension. Their home is filled with silence, misunderstanding, and emotional distance. Why? Here is the truth most people don't realize. Many homes are not suffering from lack of love. They are suffering from lack of emotional intelligence. You can love someone and still hurt them repeatedly if you don't understand emotions. Tonight we'll be talking about the 5 pillars of emotional intelligence every family must learn if they want peace, if they want respect, if they want connection in their home. This is Intentional Life, Intentional Family Clinic channel. You are welcome. You are most welcome to this live session. So I will start by sharing a story. You know, a couple I know once came for counseling, and they had been married for 8 years. The husband said, my wife complains about everything. Nothing I do is enough. Every single thing she complains. And the wife says, he doesn't understand me. When I talk, he shuts down or he gets angry. He just simply doesn't understand me. But as we talked deeper, as we kept, conversing and the discussion kept going, something became very clear. The problem was not love. They loved each other deeply. The real problem was the husband did not understand his emotion. He didn't understand his own emotion. The wife did not feel emotionally heard. She couldn't feel heard because every time she talks, the man shuts down or he gets angry and all that. So both of them reacted emotionally instead of intelligently. Their marriage was not lacking love. It was lacking emotional intelligence. And this is the silent struggle in many homes. Many homes. You see, it's like a universal thing. You get many homes, it's still the same issue. People are in love, couples are in love, they love each other. Welcome to this live stream. Welcome. I love seeing you guys on my live stream, and you are highly welcome tonight. Welcome all of you. Can you tell us where you are watching from? Put it on the comment. Let's know where you're watching from. Everywhere in the world, welcome. So our topic is the 5 pillars of emotional intelligence every family must learn, because any family, any marriage that does not understand emotional intelligence will constantly have friction, will constantly be in conflict. So let's keep going. So I was sharing a story of a couple I know that have been married for 8 years. So when they came for counseling, the man kept saying, my wife, anything I do, everything I do, nothing I do is enough. Nothing I do is ever enough. And the woman kept saying, he doesn't understand me. He doesn't understand me. And you see, that's always the case in many places. That's always the case in many places. The man is misunderstanding the wife. The wife is thinking the man is not hearing her. This is what we are talking about. This is the absence of emotional intelligence. They were not lacking in love. They didn't lack love. Love was quite in the family. They loved themselves actually deeply, but they lacked emotional intelligence. Many homes are struggling on this very matter. Many homes, including the ones many homes are struggling because of lack of emotional intelligence. So what is emotional intelligence? You see, many people were taught how to make money. They were taught how to succeed in school. They were taught how to build their careers. They were taught how to do many things in life. but nobody taught them how to manage their emotions. Nobody taught that. It wasn't in the curriculum while you were growing up. Nobody taught you how to manage your emotions. Nobody taught you how to handle anger, because these are human problems. Oh yes, every human has emotion. Emotion runs everything, you see. But we were not taught how to manage our emotions. We were not taught how to handle anger. We weren't even taught how to communicate feelings, how to understand our emotional needs. You know, you can have feelings and all that, but you wouldn't even know how to communicate it, you see. So what happens? People enter marriage with adult bodies, but they are inside children. You know, they are having childlike emotions while carrying adult bodies. The person is an adult, but inside emotionally is a child. Yes, many marriages you see couples, grown people, they are adults, but emotionally they are children. Why? The necessary things that we are supposed to know while growing up were not taught. The things that were taught weren't part of what we are experiencing on a daily basis. So many people don't know how to handle their emotions. So they love each other, yet they are fighting. They are deeply in love, yet there is constant friction. What is the issue? Lack of emotional intelligence. So that is why you see small issues turning into big fights. Small issues turning into big fights. Silence replacing communication. When there is an issue, it becomes silent treatment. Instead of communicating the problem, instead of diagnosing it with beautiful communication, instead of sitting one-on-one to talk about what the problem is, it becomes silent treatment. You see, they become, most couples virtually become strangers in such cases. They virtually become roommates because they are communicating silently. You see, emotional distance begin to grow in the home. Emotional distance growing in the home, and the worst hit are the children, because children are learning these unhealthy emotional patterns. You see, everything we do in the home, we are modeling for the children. We are modeling for the children. So at the heat of all these things, the children are picking all the patterns, the wrong emotional patterns that are being modeled for them. So what happens? The child grows up and gets into marriage and begin to repeat the same pattern, because this is what she grew up seeing. This is what she has seen all her life. And the moment she gets into marriage, she is repeating the same cycle. Now, let's talk about the root cause of emotional conflicts in homes. There is a cause to this emotional conflict. There are so many issues in many families. You see, that's why intentional family clinic has come, because we nurture families, we nurture relationships, we build people with emotional intelligence. So tonight, let's talk about root causes of emotional conflict. There are three major reasons emotional intelligence is missing in many homes. Welcome to this live stream. I love to have you put your name in the comments. Let's know where you're chatting us from so that we can welcome you. And we love to be, we love to have interactive sessions. We love to have to, so you can interact, you can put your comments so that we know your views. All right. So root cause of emotional conflicts in the home. There are three major reasons why there are constant conflicts in the home. Why emotional intelligence is missing in many homes. Number one, there is poor emotional modeling growing up. Remember that we said that at the heat of all these things going on among couples, children are picking them. Children are picking them. They are modeling for children. So thank you for the likes. Thank you so much. So poor emotional modeling while people are growing up is one of the root causes of conflict. Many people grew up in homes where emotions were ignored. What does it mean? How you feel doesn't bother anybody. It is nobody's business how you're feeling. Your emotions are being ignored. Nobody cares. Nobody's asking you how do you feel, or what is going on your, and all that. No, everybody was surviving on their own. And then anger was explosive. Many people grew up in homes where anger was explosive. Every little thing there will be outbursts. Every little thing there will be explosion. You see, and communication was so harsh. Communication was so harsh. There weren't nice communication. People didn't even have the skills to communicate effectively as adults. And so these things were modeled to the children in that home. The children had to copy it while growing, because this is why what they were seeing, they copied it, and then eventually they repeated what they saw. This is why there are so much conflicts, poor emotional modeling while they were growing up. So when the person now begin to have her own home, if care is not taken, if she hadn't begin to learn many things, how to build homes and the skills required, she will begin to repeat the same pattern. Second, a cause of emotional conflict in the homes. The second thing is emotional illiteracy. Emotional illiteracy. You see, many adults cannot even name what they feel. Oh, there is emotional illiteracy. Many adults can't even say, they can't name what they feel. They will say, I am angry. Oh, I'm angry. But what they are really feeling might not even be anger. The person might just be feeling disappointment, or it could be a feeling of rejection, or fear, or even exhaustion. When somebody is stressed out, when you are exhausted and all that, you probably need to rest. And the person says, I am angry. Of course, anger is not the same thing as being exhausted. But being the fact that the person cannot name emotion, he doesn't even know what the emotion is at that very point in time. All he knows is that I am angry. So when there is lack of emotional intelligence, when there is emotional illiteracy, people can't even correctly name what they feel. They don't even know what they are feeling at every point in time, because it is when you know what you're feeling that you know how to correctly address it. All right? The third root cause is reactive living. Reactive living. You see, most people react emotionally instead of responding wisely. People react emotionally. Emotions react. One thing you should know is that as a human being, you must have emotion. There is no human that doesn't have emotion. Oh yes. There is no person that doesn't have emotion. It's only that many times you see some people expressing positive or negative emotion, predominantly. But every human being came here with emotions. So emotions react, but emotional intelligence responds. When you have emotional intelligence, you will not be reacting to issues, but you will be responding intelligently to issues. That's the difference. So now let's begin to talk about the 5 pillars of emotional intelligence that every family must learn. Every family must learn. Number 1 pillar is self-awareness. Self-awareness. Self-awareness means understanding your emotions before they control your actions. Understanding your emotions before they control your actions. You see, emotion has the ability to control you if you're not in charge. Emotion has the ability to color your views, to color your perception. Yes, emotion is that strong. So if you have self-awareness, you'll be able to understand your emotions before that emotion begin to try to predominate you. What do? You ask yourself, why am I angry? Why am I angry? Understand why you are angry at that particular point in time. What exactly am I feeling? This thing that is going on inside of me, what is it? What am I feeling? Now, what triggered this reaction? The way I am reacting this moment, what triggered it? So that self-awareness is your ability to understand your emotions. You cannot understand your emotion until you become conscious of how you feel. You become conscious, be deliberate in studying yourself. That's what we are saying. So that you notice that you're feeling angry, and then you pause yourself and say, why am I angry? Know why you are angry. Because many times you will not know what triggers the anger. You won't know. You will be reacting because there is just a trigger, but you don't know, you're not able to find the root. Many arguments happen because people do not understand what they are feeling. They don't understand what they are feeling, so it triggers a lot of issues, a lot of arguments. You see, the Bible says in James chapter 1 verse 19, book of James chapter 1 verse 19, let's look it up in the Bible. James chapter 1 verse 19 says, let everyone be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to anger. Let everyone be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to anger. But you cannot be slow to anger if you are not aware of your emotions. You cannot be slow, because anger is an emotion. If you're not aware that you're angry, you are not aware of that emotion, how can you now be slow? You see why we need self-awareness. Let everyone be slow to speak. This is God speaking in James 1:19. Let everyone be slow to, you be quick to listen, be slow to speak, and be slow to anger. Quick to listen, 1. Slow to speak, 2. Slow to anger. Are you seeing the things that play in relationship? Because when you are not quick to listen to the other person, you will react impulsively. You will do what, the situation will require that you have to remedy it after, because you were quick. You were not quick to listen. You were actually going ahead of yourself. When you are not slow to speak, you might say the wrong things. And when you're not slow to anger, you will act in a way that was not necessary at the moment. So the Bible says, let everyone be slow, be quick to listen. Be quick to listen, be slow to speak, and be slow to anger. But you cannot be slow to anger. Remember, anger is an emotion, until you understand that emotion. So that is the first pillar, self-awareness. Let's look at the second pillar of emotional intelligence that we must learn. Self-regulation. Self-regulation. This is the ability to control your emotional reactions. Self-regulation. When you have that ability to control your emotional reactions. Self-awareness, understanding your emotion. Self-regulation, controlling your reaction. But still, you cannot control what you don't understand. Are you seeing the connection? You can't still control what you don't understand. Because if you have been self-aware to understand the feeling of anger and to know the triggers or what makes it happen, you will be able to be in control, to be able to put it under, so that it will not go beyond the necessary boundary. So self-regulation, emotionally intelligent people pause before reacting. In self-regulation, you pause before reacting. You don't just react randomly. Anything that comes, you give it attention. You pause before reacting. Instead of saying hurtful words, you pause before you speak. The Bible also says in Proverbs chapter 25 verse 28, a man without self-control is like a city broken into and left without walls. Proverbs 25:28. A man without self-control is like a city broken into and left without walls. So, you see, when you don't have self-control, the Bible says that you're like a city that doesn't have walls. It's just an open, anything can happen, anything can come in and go out. So self-regulation is that ability to control your emotion, control your anger, control how you talk, control your reactions. Self-regulation, the second pillar of emotional intelligence. If you begin to deploy self-regulation, you will enjoy constant peace at home. You will enjoy that tension, that friction will be abased completely. So you see, many homes collapse because emotional walls are broken. Many homes collapse not because they don't have love, not because love is absent, but emotional walls are broken. Everything is open, everything happens, reactions, they react impulsively anyhow. The third pillar is empathy. Empathy means feeling what the other person feels. Feeling what the other person feels. It is the ability to say, I may not fully agree with you, but I understand how you feel. Empathy. So you see, when you have self-awareness, you understand your emotion, you will be able to control your emotion. That is when you can be able to reach out to the other person with empathy. You cannot feel or be able to know what the other person is feeling when you have not even known what you feel yourself. When you haven't been able to understand your own feeling and attend to your feeling, manage your feeling, handle your feeling, you won't be able to know how the other person is feeling. You see the connection? So this emotional intelligence is a skill that every family must have, every couple must learn. Every couple, a lot of these conflicts will come down once we begin to deploy emotional intelligence. So empathy, feeling what the other person is feeling after you are able to, because in a conflict you are feeling hot, there is at the heat of the moment you are feeling and the other person is feeling, but you being able to put yourself under check is what will automatically help the other person to calm down. You see, what escalates conflict, if there is a situation and you are talking, your spouse is talking and everybody is talking, the moment you keep quiet and the atmosphere calms down in your side, the other person will automatically begin to also keep quiet, begin to calm down, and you see peace will begin to come in. But if you keep talking because you don't have rule over your emotion, there is no saying how much the thing will be escalated and it gets beyond your control. So most relationship conflicts come from this complaint: you don't understand me. You don't understand me. You keep hearing people saying your spouse is saying you don't understand me. You're saying to the other person you don't understand me. Truly they don't. Because when there is no emotional intelligence, the other person will not understand you very well. Empathy builds emotional safety. Empathy builds emotional safety. The fourth pillar of emotional intelligence is healthy communication. Healthy communication. Emotionally intelligent families know how to talk without destroying each other. Emotionally intelligent families know how to talk without destroying each other. So, of course, there will always be moments of conflict, misunderstanding, disagreements. But when you are emotionally intelligent as a family, you can disagree without destroying each other. You can have misunderstanding without insults, without name callings. You see, you come to some places, there is always name calling. There is always insults, contempt, sarcasm, shouting at the top of their voice, and you forget that conflict is a temporary moment, because conflict doesn't last forever. You can have conflict in an hour or two, but that does not mean that every day is conflict. So when you are not able to handle that moment very well, you will put a lot of things at risk, because when you lack healthy communication, you will begin to insult, you call names, you say things that are not necessary. What about when the conflict is over? How are you going to collect or recall the words that you have spoken? How are you going to recall what you said to the other person? All the names you call the other person, how are you going to recall it? You see the essence and the reason for emotional intelligence. You see the reason for emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is a skill that must be learned. So you know how to always be in charge. Even at the heat of conflict, you are in charge. All right? So Ephesians chapter 4 verse 29 says, "Let no corrupt communication proceed out of your mouth, but only what is helpful for building others up." Let no corrupt communication come out. So healthy communication is what couples need. Healthy communication is what couples need to have a healthy family, to have healthy relationship, to have when you have healthy relationship, You will have a peaceful home. You will have emotionally healthy children. You see, this thing has ripple effects. That is why we cannot but begin to build emotional intelligence into our family life. Now, the fifth pillar is relationship management. The fifth pillar of emotional intelligence is relationship management. This is your ability to resolve conflict and maintain communication, maintain connection. Your ability to resolve conflict and maintain connection. Like I said earlier, conflict doesn't last forever. When there is conflict, you understand that at this moment there is conflict. So that ability, that skill to be able to resolve conflicts and maintain connection is relationship management. There are people that cannot resolve conflict. Anytime there is problem, they will allow the problem to tear the relationship apart. Everything disintegrates just because there is a problem. So are you saying that these are relationship skills? You see, people's skills are skills that you must need to maintain your relationships. In marriage, in every environment that you relate to people, you need these skills, because it is not just in your home as a family, in your workplace, in everything, a social environment. You need to know how to relate with people. Okay, so emotionally intelligent couples know how to apologize. Yes, they know how to apologize when you are wrong, or when you are offending. You should be able to say, I'm sorry. We talked about it the other day in our last video. You know how to apologize. It is maturity to apologize, even many times, because you treasure your peace, because you love peace more than, you choose peace more than being right. You apologize. Emotionally intelligent couples, they know how to forgive. They know how to forgive. In our last video, we said that forgiveness is a law of love. When you don't forgive, you're violating the law of love. All right? Forgiveness is a commandment. When you forgive, you are obeying. You are in obedience. Now, forgiveness. Many people will say, I love you, I love you. Love goes with forgiveness. If you cannot forgive, you're not forgiving, you don't love. Or your love is not sincere. Your love is not genuine. The Bible says, let your love be sincere. Let your love be sincere. When someone offends you, be able to forgive. Some people can't forgive. At most, they say they're forgiven. They're forgiven, yet they keep repeating the offense. That is violating the law of love. Emotionally intelligent couples repair emotional damage. When people are hurt, you know that you have hurt this person. You know that this person is feeling wounded. You should also be able to approach this person and begin to make things right, and help this person to heal from those hurts. But when we lack emotional intelligence, even when somebody is hurting, even when somebody is wounded, you see the other person care little. He doesn't care. It doesn't bother him. It doesn't. And that is not intelligence. Emotional intelligence people also rebuild connection after conflict. They know that conflict is for a while. Connection is more important. Peace is more important than being right. So there are families who know how to repair emotional breaks. Emotional breaks. When you have emotional intelligence, you will be able to handle all these things that we have mentioned. Okay? So let me say something very important tonight. Peace in the home is not automatic. You see, peace is not automatic. It doesn't just happen. In your home, peace will just appear. No, you work for peace. You work for peace. It is a skill that must be learned. Peace is a skill that must be learned. You see, families that thrive emotionally, they have learned how to understand emotions. Remember, we said that peace is a skill that must be learned. There are so many people that they want a peaceful home, but there is something that you need to do. You need to work it. You need to acquire the skill, like what we just mentioned right here. Emotional intelligence is a skill. Understanding your own emotion, because you need to know What always happens? What triggers problem? What brings conflict? What brings conflict? Because you and your spouse, you are different people from different background, different exposures, different personalities, different trainings, experiences. Everything is different, and you are coming to live as one. So you are bound to offend each other. You are bound to step on the other person's toe. Now, emotional intelligence, gives you the room to understand yourself so that you know how to handle situations when they come. All right? So, like I said, peace is a skill that you have to learn. You must understand your emotions. You must be able to regulate your reactions. Regulate your reactions. Listen with empathy. Communicate wisely and repair relationships. These are skills. They are learnable skills. Listen with empathy. Show concern. Know what is happening in the other person's. It is not just about you. When you have a family, it is no more about you. When you have a family, it is no more about you. So emotional intelligence, it's knowing yourself and then reaching out to know the other person, how the other person feel, and how you can help this other person to cope. If a family ignores emotional intelligence, love alone will struggle to survive. Love alone will struggle to survive if a family ignores emotional intelligence. You can be saying, I love you, I love you, I love, but the love will be struggling. When there is love, but your emotion is not hurt. When there is love, yes, there is love, but what you're saying, the other person is not hearing you, is not listening to you, is not even responding. Yes, there is love. Yes, there is love. Then why is there constant friction? Why are you always fighting? There is love. All right? When emotional intelligence is present, respect, safety, and connection grow in the home. Respect, safety, and connection grow in the home when there is emotional intelligence. Now, I want you to do me a favor this week. This week, I want every family listening. If you're a family, you're listening to me, to practice 3 things this week. Number 1, start naming your emotions. Start naming your emotion. Instead of saying, I'm angry, tell yourself, what exactly am I feeling? Is it anger? Try to understand your emotions. All the time, many times it's not anger. Many times you're disappointed. Disappointment and anger, they are not the same. Disappointment can make you to feel angry, but they are not the same at at every point. They are not the same. One can lead to the other. But when you know that I am actually feeling disappointment over this matter, over this issue, over what this person did to me, you begin to process it. You can begin to tell yourself, well, it's one of those things. I'll find another way. But it is not anger. So start naming your emotion. Start knowing what you're feeling exactly. Number 2, pause before you react. Pause before reacting. Before responding in a conflict, take a deep breath and think. Think. Don't always react as that thing is coming. As you're feeling the heat of the moment, you're giving it out. No. Many times we stumble into troubles by reacting. That's why the book of James said that we should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to get angry. Do you know, if you begin to practice that scripture alone, knowing how to be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to get angry, you will reduce conflict in your home by 50%. Yes, 50% in the sense that you are not the only one here. There is the other party. So, but your own part will drastically come down. And begin to work on yourself. The other person will also respond. That's the way it is. So number 3 thing you do for me this week is ask this powerful question. Ask your spouse or child, how did that situation make you feel? How did that situation, that is one question that opens emotional doors. Ask the other person. That thing I said the other day, how did it make you feel? I mean, how did you feel hurt? Did you feel? And this person will feel, oh, you really care. There is nothing that deepens and opens people's heart like knowing that you care. You care about how they feel. You care about what you said, how it's, came to them. You care. So ask the other person, how did you feel about what I said? How did you feel about that situation? How did you feel about, find out how the other person is feeling, because it is not just you alone. Emotional intelligence is a skill that we cannot sweep under the carpet if we want peace in our home. Of course, we all want peace in our homes. We all want peace in our families. Peace is a must. It is something that is needed. But we have to now begin to become emotionally intelligent. Apply this skill. Learn these 5 pillars of emotional intelligence: self-awareness, self-regulation, empathy. You should, when you know all those things and you begin to do it, remember that we said the bottom line is that the children are copying what we are doing. So when you are able to know all these 5 pillars that we just mentioned, and our children will be modeled rightly emotionally. When our children begin to copy what we are doing, they are going to model for their own children. They are going to go into their homes with what they have picked from us. You see the ripple effect? So this is it. And not just, it doesn't end with us and our children. The society at large. The society at large, because every single person in the society came from a family. Everything we are doing affects the family one way or the other. If we must be agents of societal transformation, we must begin to be intentional about what we do at home, about what we do in our relationships, about what we do that has a way or one way or the other of affecting our children and translating to the society. If this message spoke to you, if this session spoke to you, please share this video with someone that needs to hear it. Subscribe and be part of this community. Subscribe, put on that notification button so that you always know when we have, when we are live, or when there is a new video that you need to follow us on these teachings, because this whole time we are going to be on this emotional intelligence series. So start practicing emotional awareness in your own home this week, and join me in the next episode where I will be talking about why you overreact. Why you overreact. Understanding your own emotional triggers. That's what I will be talking in the next episode. Join me so that you can be able to be part of that conversation, because until you understand your emotional triggers, you will keep repeating emotional cycles. All right, and remember this: a healthy home is not built by perfect people. It's not perfect people that build healthy homes. It is built by emotionally intelligent people. And I know you're one. I know you're an emotionally intelligent person that will build a healthy home, that will model rightly for your children. And then our society will be transformed at large. God bless you, and stay blessed this week. Stay emotionally intelligent, stay peaceful, stay healthy emotionally and everywise. And I will see you by this time next week. God bless you and God keep you. I love you.